You're listening to Who's Tom and Dick, a weekly podcast with your hosts, Martin Weavers, fighting stage 4 lung cancer, and Patrick Mortimer, living with heart disease. Why not grab yourself a cup of coffee, sit back, and enjoy the chatter as we discuss and share information, talking about tough subjects, and offering help, support, and motivation with a positive mental attitude.
Well, good morning, Patrick. How are you on this lovely day?
Good morning to you, Martin. Yes, I'm fine. Thank you very much.
Haven't we had some lovely weather?
It is lovely weather, isn't it? 30 degrees apparently today. So
Really?
factor 50. Make sure you got your factor 50 on.
Oh, yes. I've got a busy day doing work on my computer. So I shall sit in the shade, I think, indoors.
Stay out of the sun.
Wait all the winter for some sun and then we'll stay out of it. So another week's passed.
Yes, we're going to have a catch-up. This is a sort of time to have a catch-up on your visit to the Royal Marsden.
Yeah.
To meet the King's Doctor.
He is the King's, they are the King's Doctor. But yeah, it was cool. It was a lovely place.
I tell you what, let's start from the very beginning, because you're all tucked away in the depths of, well, you're Suffolk, but Norfolk, really, aren't you? Right on the border there.
Yeah, I am Suffolk.
So you had to probably take the train from Dis.
I did, yeah. I called it a Dis.
Was it steam?
Yeah, I had to help shovel the coal on.
All right. So you caught the train from Dis.
I tell you what, I haven't been on a train for years, and the difference, it was a fast train, and it was clean. It had all the plugs to put your computer in, but not that I had a computer. I can see it's for the people who are on the the morning thing and all
You're
that.
not doing Norfolk very, very many favours there, mate. So it probably was a steam train you were on last then. So you got on the train, zipped up to, how long did it take to get from Dis to London?
It's an hour and a half. But what we thought we'd do, because we're going to be going up there so often, we thought we'd try doing some different things. So we actually went up the day before, and we got off at Liverpool Street, and we went across to Paddington. And that's where we were staying, right near Hyde Park. We had a lovely little hotel there. It wasn't a huge, big, posh one, but it was adequate. Had a nice sized room and all that. And we decided to go out that day to see a show, either a matinee or an evening performance. In the end, we went to an evening performance and saw Just for One Day, which is the new Band-Aid musical.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, I heard about that.
Anybody, if you get the chance to go and see that, I would recommend that. It is fantastic, especially if you remember the day of Band-Aid, the concert and all that, which I remember really well. My son was two days old then.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we went up to London. I had a 99. In fact, I had a double 99.
And Mr. Whippy.
Yeah, my Mr. Whippy. And we just made a good night of it, had an Italian meal. And then the next day was D-Day. So, because when we normally go up, we'll go from Dis to Liverpool Street. And then from Liverpool Street, it's only a couple of stops to South Kensington on the tube.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll normally do. But of course, we was over at Paddington and we had to change and all things like that. But anyway, we got to Chelsea, and wow, that was expensive in Chelsea, all the prices.
Was it?
Different in Norfolk.
I got to pay for electricity and all that sort of thing in London,
Oh, right. Is that what it is? But no, it was a great experience. And we made our way to South Kensington.
Yeah.
And we got seen by this.
Hang on. So you got to South Kensington, and what time was that then?
It was about 2:30. And we got a 3:00 appointment.
Yeah.
So we had to get from the station, the tube station, and it was only a 7-minute walk. So we was actually in well early.
Did you find it okay?
Yeah, it's quite simple. Well, Linny put it on her phone.
Yeah.
And she just put, South Kensington Hospital in, and it walked us. It said 7 minutes from the tube station. So we just followed that, and we got there 2:30, and I asked Lenny to go and sit down and wait while I signed in, and I told her to sit in the wrong place. We had to sit the far side. She was sitting where the blood tests were. So I found out later. We sat there, and I thought, I can't wait to meet this new guy. Dr. Sanjay, Professor Sanjay Patat. And we waited and we waited. And then this young lad came out and he weighed me and he done me height. And he said, the team will be with you in a minute. And wow, team, there was three of them,
Yeah.
but not Professor Sanjay Patat. He'd been held up and delayed. So anyway, we all sat round and then basically they just had a chat to me and told me all about what's going to be happening on this with this drug, which I've thought all along has been a trial, but it's not a trial. The
Right.
trials have already been done,
Yeah.
right? So it's an expanded access program, they call it.
Mm-hmm.
It means that, they've trialed the drug and they're just giving it to X amount of people, and then the drug company will then sell it on to the NHS when they see the success that they hope with the results.
Yeah.
So, but I've found out, quite a few things about it. Apparently, it didn't have a name.
Oh, right. That's
Yeah,
strange.
it's a number. It's like the prisoner. I'm not a number. I'm a free man. But it's
Right.
NVL 655. That's the number of it.
MVL,
No, N.
NVL.
Yeah. It's Natalie versus Linny, NVL.
Yeah.
And then 655.
Right.
Shame it wasn't 555. That'd be my favourite number to remember that easy then. But when you sort of find out further about it, they do mention the name Nadalakib, and I think that's what it's going to be called, but it's not official. So yeah, no, so it's Nel Adal Akib.
We thought that might have an ib on the end, didn't we?
Pardon? Yes. Yeah,
As all
that's
cancer
right.
drugs do.
Yeah, because it was Lorlatinib. So yeah, that's a cancer code, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so first of all, they interviewed me. That was the first thing I had,
Mm-hmm.
and they I suppose they wanted to know if I was in the right frame of mind for it, and they asked me why I'd like to go on it, and I told them that if it helps research and it helps me, then it's all well and good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they said we'll do some blood tests on you and do a ECG. I had to have one of those as well, so I've done all that, and they come back to say that they'd accept me on this program,
Mm-hmm.
and because I'm strong
Yeah.
and big and strong, and I've got the right attitude, and because mainly I think because I didn't have any adverse reaction to the other, the Lorlatinib.
Yeah.
That was the thing because it's such a close thing to it. But anyway, they said that I could do that, and I asked them when I can start because I thought they'd be giving me a packet of pills that day and I'd be going away with them, but
Right.
it wasn't like that.
No.
No, they said what you got to do is you'll go away, we'll check all the bloods, which they have done. I've had my results.
Yeah.
Don't mean a thing. There's a little range to it, and some are in the range, some are out of the range. But I'm sure if it had been anything bad, they would have called me. But so nobody's called me on that one. So I've left with loads of paperwork to read up and consent form that I have to sign to say that I'm happy to carry out the treatment.
Yeah.
So, but they said in the letter that the doctor would like to treat me with an investigational new drug, and that's when this nalalac I can't say it now nalaldalakib comes in, and it's known as NVL 655. And it's a potential new targeted therapy for treatment for advanced ALKA positive NSCLC for my disease and treatment. So what it means is it can get to the protein of the cancer,
Yeah.
and it can kill that protein to kill it completely. So
Right.
that's the idea of this new drug, because I don't think the other one did that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference between the two. They've
Oh, right.
found out,
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's all numbers and names and things like that, long names that you can't pronounce. It's very interesting. So I have to now go to the Royal Marsden every 8 weeks.
Every 8 weeks.
Every 8 weeks.
So hang on. Once every 8 weeks.
Once a day, once every Tuesday for 8 weeks.
Every Tuesday for 8 weeks. Right.
And then if I take to the drug with all the tests they give me, which will be blood tests and ECGs, then it will go on to every 2 weeks. And then
Right.
eventually I'll have to go to the Royal Marsden monthly.
Okay.
So just for the same check over every time,
Hmm.
it's checking my liver and it's checking my heart
Yeah.
because that's the two things that can happen with this drug, which is the same with Lorlatinib as well. I remember Dr. Patterson saying it can affect that, and it didn't. So fingers crossed, I won't get affected with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I must admit, I came away thinking, God, I got to go all the way from Dis to Chelsea, and that night I was really, really down,
Yeah.
and I thought to myself, it's just such a big thing to have to keep going up there all the time. And then I was in my garden the next day, and it suddenly clicked in my brain. I thought, Weavers, you're being selfish here. There's so many people who have died of cancer who would love to be given this chance
Yeah.
to go up to Chelsea every 8 weeks, and as long as it takes, and then every 2 weeks, then monthly, which isn't so bad monthly. But I thought I'm just being, selfish towards myself. And there's lots of people that I've met on this journey who have sadly died, and they would love to be given that chance. And
Yeah.
I've been given this chance, and so I thought, put your big boy pants on, Weavers,
Hmm.
and just suck it up and see it and go. And so that's what I'm doing. And my mind frame changed completely when I thought of that.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
strange, isn't it?
That's amazing.
I
Yeah.
know.
That's
Just
positive
one.
mental attitude again.
It was, yeah, definitely.
Well, I can see what you mean. It does seem to be a bind. I mean, the 8 weeks will be the hardest because obviously you're going up there every week,
Mm.
then 2 weeks monthly. Hopefully, you'll get used to the trip. That will seem okay.
Well, I've asked you to come on one of the trips with me, or perhaps a couple.
Yeah.
Linny will come a couple. Johnny and Natalie are going to come up as well. They can do one each. So those 8 will soon pass by, I think.
Well, the way
And
time flies, yeah, it ain't going to be long before you're to the monthly, hopefully, and the drug is
yeah,
working for you.
and who knows, by the seventh or the eighth one, I might go up on my own
Yeah.
and be a big boy.
That's like everything. Once you get into a routine, you'll know what you're doing, and that makes life a
Yeah.
little bit easier as well.
Well, it's not knowing where to get off the stations and what lines to get on the underground. And I mean, I hadn't done the underground for years. Well, went to a football match with you, didn't I?
Yeah.
But we went with people who knew where they were going, so I just followed. But with Linny and I, we don't know we didn't know where we were going, but we didn't get lost once. That's one good thing.
Yeah.
So, but we did ask a couple of times, and people said put us in the right direction. So
How did you get on with your card and the tube? Did you get on with that all right?
yeah, I had to ring your nephew up just to make sure I knew what I was doing with it. I haven't checked my statement actually, so I hope I've done it right every time. And but yeah, that's another new ball game when you go up to London, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doing all that, putting your card on and making sure you put your card on at the station as you go out as well. Which, if you want to save yourself some money, you do, don't you?
Yeah. You were telling me earlier on about some sort of investigation options they gave you, which you don't really want to go ahead with. What were
Yeah, there's
they?
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first one they said because Royal Marsden have not got my records officially in their hands, they've only got second-hand information from Bury Hospital.
Yeah.
So they really want to do all the checks themselves. So they've asked me, would I like to do an MRI scan? Now, when I did an MRI scan in Bury Hospital, the first one I did, I nearly cried my eyes out. I was that traumatized when I got out. I felt claustrophobic and I said, never again. And then they came in my room. This is when I was staying in hospital for that 2 month period. And they said, you're going to have to go and do it again because we need to see something else in there. So I thought, oh God. And, but the second one wasn't so bad. I was able to pick my own music, which I did,
Yeah.
which, uh, which was the Bay City Rollers. So, I could lay there and take my mind off what feels like a pneumatic drill going into your head, or just the noise and doesn't feel like it's going in your head. So I did that, and I was a lot better the second one, but I still don't fancy having another one. And if I had to have one, then I would if it was a necessity. But I spoke to my oncology team in Bury about it, and what the consequences of this MRI is, if when I have it, they found any traces of cancer in my brain,
Yeah.
they would have to notify the DVLA. I would lose my license.
Ah, blimey.
I wouldn't be able to drive. So you have to weigh up the risks. Do you want to find out if you've got cancer in your brain? And if you have, you can't drive. If you haven't, then all being well. But I've never been sent to for an MRI scan before because they've thought I've had cancer.
Yeah.
And when I spoke to the oncology team, they said, well, we would have sent you if we thought you had traces of cancer in your brain.
Right.
So I'm going to decline that offer, and I'm not going to bother having the MRI scan. I've done the Lorlatinib as a trial,
Yeah.
and I'm doing this one as the What did I say it was? I've got the an expanded program.
Yeah.
So I think I've done a little bit to help cancer. I don't need to do all these other things, which takes me to the second one,
Yeah.
which was a biopsy. Now, the biopsy is where they put a needle into you and they take a scraping of your cancer, and obviously it's in my lung.
Yeah.
So what have they got to do with this big needle? They've got to go through my lung,
Oh,
and there's a risk that they could puncture my lung.
right.
And all it is to find out exactly what cancer I have in that lung,
Yeah.
which may be different if it went to a lymph node like it did before. But this is to find what this cancer is, and then it'd be for future people to use for investigation and things like that.
Hmm.
So I thought once again I'll speak to when I was talking to the team about it, the oncology team, and the conclusion I've come up with is that this new drug that I'm going to have,
Yeah.
the NVL 655, I'm going to take that for the duration, and brilliant, fingers crossed, hope it works.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't work, then I'm prepared then to have this biopsy to find out exactly what my cancer is so they can get to get to it better to treat it. But that will be further down the line. So
Right.
that's what I'll tell them. And today, funny enough, after this podcast, I've got a phone call coming from them.
Okay.
They will be talking to me about this.
So in that case, these two options you've got that you've decided not to go for won't make any difference to your treatment at this stage, will it?
No, they said that.
So it's optional. So, I mean, you've been through enough. You don't need to put yourself through something that you don't necessarily need at this stage, do you?
Well, that's exactly, what I felt. I've felt rough. And I don't want the worry of having a punctured lung.
Mm.
I've had a collapsed lung in all this process. So yeah, I mean, I'm probably 98% feeling not too bad. I still feel muggy and but
I
not
suppose,
the cancer muggy.
I suppose in a way you feel under a little bit of pressure to have these things done because you want to help them because they're helping you. But I think
That
you
is
look at
exactly
it.
how I felt
Yeah.
when I sat in the pub that night, and it was going round and round in my head, thinking about, am I wrong in not doing it?
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I've done a lot. I'm helping with this program. I helped with
Mhm.
the last one, so I'd like to think I've done my little bit to help.
I suppose having the MRI on your brain would confirm one thing that you've got one.
Pass, move on.
That's probably the real reason you don't want it. But there you
I
go.
can read you like a book, Patrick Mortimer.
Still, there you go. How did you feel the experience went in general then? Successful and encouraging?
I was a little disappointed I didn't get the tablets that
Well,
day.
I'm sure you were, yeah. You want to
Yeah,
get
because
cracking.
obviously I want to start. It's like when I go up next time, they said hopefully we'll have the tablets here at the hospital, and I thought, oh God! But at least next time I've got to go for a CT scan, which is the same as I have at Bury Hospital.
Yeah.
They can't send the results on from there because they want them firsthand. I'm
Hmm.
meeting a physiotherapist. She wants to just have a chat to me about general things, and then I'll meet the team again, and this is when hopefully they will talk to me about getting the drug, and I'll also have another ECG and another blood test.
Yeah.
So it'll be pretty full on, and my appointment's 4:45 for the CT scan, and that you have to stay an hour behind in hospital after you've had that. So I'm not going to get out of there very early.
Oh,
So
blimey.
I reckon we'll be catching about the 7:30 train home from Liverpool Street.
Yeah. Why so late?
Yeah, I know they said that they'd keep my appointments late, so it gives me time to get there.
Yeah.
And also travelling in not off peak times.
Yeah.
So that's why they've done a 3 o'clock. But at least, with that I could get, done and get down to the station and then wait for the train. But no, we'll have to see if in future what my appointments are,
Yeah.
because it'll only be for a ECG and a blood test.
Well, that's pretty quickly in and out then in that case.
Yeah, once I get going. So, but yeah, they'll tell me more when I see them. There's lots of questions you think you want to ask, and because you're put on the spot, you can't think of them straight away.
You haven't got a fast before your blood test or anything like that, have you?
Yeah, not me blood test, but for me ECG,
Yeah.
I can't eat anything for 2 hours beforehand.
Right.
That's the rule, and I've got to drink some water beforehand. So that shouldn't be a problem, because I said to Linny, as we're going up on the train, we can have our nibbles and our things on the train. And then once I get to London, then I won't eat from there, and then we'll just go up.
Yeah. You're going to be starving by the time you get out.
There's a McDonald's at Liverpool Street. Other food outlets are available.
So what do you think of the Royal Marsden? Was it plush? Was it impressive?
Well, I tell you what, when we walked in, it was lovely. I mean, the receptionist welcomed us and all that, and then she showed us where to go, because we went in there early in the morning when we got there, just to find out where we were going. So we went in, then we went off for a drink in a local pub, and then a bite to eat. As we walked through, there's a bloke playing a piano.
Really?
I've never ever seen that before. A grand piano as well. He
Great.
just sat there. Obviously it was happy tunes and not somber tunes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never seen that before.
Did you ask them for a request?
Yeah. But once you got up to the room,
Yeah.
it was very, very much like a normal hospital, ward and things like that. And then, yeah, because then later on that day, they sent me for this blood test. So the amusing thing at the blood test was they don't just say Martin Weavers, and you're on a list. You actually go and get, like you do at the supermarket, one of those little tickets
Yeah.
with 81 on it and all
Right.
things like that. So no, which I think's good. And then nobody pushes in, then do they?
No.
So that was quite interesting when we had to do that the old-fashioned way.
I'd be inclined to shout bingo when my number was called.
I think I'd get mobbed if I
They used to
did.
do
if I
that
said
at the
something like
local hospital in Sudbury.
that. They do that there.
They used to.
Oh right,
They used
yeah,
to do it at the Walnut Tree years ago.
right, yeah,
Pull a little number out of a slot and wait your turn, which is a good process, I think.
yeah. I just think that it's fair. No one's pushing in then, are they?
Did you see anyone famous there? Because you're normally stalking somebody.
I looked and I found lots of lookalikes,
Yeah.
like we did when we went up to London.
Yeah.
But no one famous. No, it's a shame. It's probably one of the only times that I haven't.
Yeah.
Normally we found someone. I remember on the tube one day going down the steps to it, and Bill Murray from what was that police program called? Not the Chief,
The bill.
the Bill. That's right. He was on, and I think he was in EastEnders as well.
Right.
Yeah, I met him going down the stairs one day. No, nobody this time, unfortunately. But I've got lots more visits.
Yeah.
Might even see the King come in for a checkup.
Well, you never know. You never know. Did they answer all your questions, or did you have many questions to ask, or did you just listen?
I had a few questions that I needed answering,
Yeah.
but I didn't write them down. They were in our heads really, and I think the key to this is to write them down,
Yeah.
and then you don't forget them. Then because you come away and think, oh, I didn't ask this, I didn't ask that, but you're like a rabbit in headlights, really. You don't know what's going on,
No.
and you're listening to them. But we did see the top man walk by. He and he had an entourage behind him, about 5 people.
Right.
And but they said we will meet him,
Yeah.
and but I don't know when or what time I will meet him. But I certainly will be in awe when I meet him,
Yeah.
because he's such a clever guy.
So, what advice would you give anybody else going through this process? Going on a trial drug for the first time having to travel to the Royal Marsden, would you recommend it? Would you have apprehension about it yourself? Or, I mean, what do you think?
Well, I think it's a brilliant idea, and obviously, cancer has come on so far from the beginnings of when. I wouldn't be alive now if I had this 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Dr. P has already said that, and so I think you've got to do it really.
Mhm.
If it gives you a chance to, make your life longer, you want to
Yeah.
be with your family as long as you can. I think if you're going to be in too much pain and agony, then you might have to think differently. But this is obviously going to wipe the cancer away. And I think you've got to have as we always say, and you mentioned earlier, a positive mental attitude. And I would recommend that anybody done it because you don't know how much long you've got. And if it's going to add a few more years, that's the bonus.
Yeah.
And in years to come, I can see that there will be other drugs that do make you last longer. And controversially, two people have told me this, that they said that there is a drug to actually beat cancer.
Right.
But that's another topic for another podcast. That is,
Oh, yes.
they said it's there, but the drugs company would go out of business if people were given it.
Yeah.
But that's on the old conspiracy theories.
Interesting thought.
Yeah, that we're going to talk about in the new series, aren't we?
Yeah.
But no, I'd definitely recommend it to everybody if they can do it. It's other people might be closer. And I was thinking, I wonder if people in Scotland would have to come down all this way for it.
Funny you should say that, because when I was in Papworth for the first time, I was on a ward of 6, and the majority of people on that ward were having triple bypasses. And there was a guy in a bed opposite to me, and he'd come down from Scotland to Cambridge to have a triple bypass, and his wife was staying in a local hotel. So the answer to that question is probably yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because they say it's the number one hospital, for cancer treatment.
Yeah.
And it's obviously where all the trials and the experiments are going on. And obviously the king has been there and the future queen.
Yeah.
So, so it's all right for a little prince like me, isn't it? You see?
Mixing in the royal blood, Martin.
Yeah, I know.
Where are next?
Following in their footsteps.
Perhaps we ought to write to the king and see if he'd like to come onto the podcast and share his
that'd be
experiences.
fantastic. If I see him there, I'll ask him.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
I would.
I'm sure you'll get a selfie.
Someone I know met him actually, and I said to them, "Did you get a selfie?" He said, "No, my phone was in my pocket." And his security guards would probably thought I'm going to go for a gun or something like that. So he never got one.
That wouldn't stop you, mate.
No, definitely not. You know me too well.
Yeah. Anyway, well, we all wish you the best with the treatment. I shall be
thank
coming
you.
along a few trips with you, and
Yeah,
we'll find somewhere to eat,
we could do a podcast up there.
and we can do a podcast while we're going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we cheer things up a little bit with? Well, will it be cheering things up again with a joke of the week?
If I think you're going to say what I think you're going to say, it will be cheering it up.
Yeah. Let's go for Martin's joke of the week, shall we?
Okay, folks, I know you've been waiting for it. Although he has no previous experience, he skillfully mounts the horses and appears in complete command.
Hang on. Have you started midway through or something?
No.
Would you like to start again? Because I don't know who he is.
Right. Yeah, I missed that little bit.
Go on then.
So David and Victoria Beckham
That's better.
are out together. And although he's got no previous experience of horses, he skillfully mounts a horse and appears in complete command of the situation as the horse gallops along at a steady pace, Victoria admiringly watching her husband. After a short time, David became a little casual and he begins to lose his grip on the saddle. He panics and grabs the horse round the neck, shouting for it to stop. Victoria starts to scream and shout for someone to help the husband, as David has by this time slipped completely out of the saddle and is only saved from hitting the ground by the fact that he's still got a grip on the horse's neck. David decides that his best chance is to leap away from the horse, but his foot has become entangled in one of the stirrups. And as the horse gallops along, David's head is banging on the ground and he's slipping into unconsciousness. Victoria now is frantic and screams, "Help! Help! Hearing the screams, the Tesco security guard comes out to the store and unplugged the horse. Boom, boom.
Did well to get through that.
That joke, I've known that for years. I love that joke. And apologies to David Beckham and Victoria if they are listening to this podcast.
So that brings us to the end of this
It
podcast
does
today,
yeah.
Martin.
And thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you're all sort of up on what I'm going through. And don't forget, if you are going through anything similar and you'd like to come on our podcast and talk about it, they can, can't they, Patrick?
Feel free.
Yeah, they've only got to get
in
in contact, which several people have done in the past, and we've had them on. So thanks very much for listening, everybody. Thank you, Patrick.
Thanks very much for listening. We wish you all the best for next Tuesday and hope all goes well. I'm sure we'll keep everybody informed of your progress.
I'll keep everybody informed. Thanks, Pat, and thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Who's Tom and Dick podcast with your hosts, Martin Weavers and Patrick Mortimer. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite streaming platform. New episodes are available every Friday. Thanks for tuning in.